Welcome back to the morning show here on ARETHA News.
Joining us now is our in-house analyst, Victoria Peppel, with stories trending around the world. Good morning, Victoria.
Good morning.
Looking great today.
Thank you. Thank you. Looking fantastic.
Love your hair.
Yeah, okay, you look different. Yes.
You didn't notice?
No, I'm just noticing now.
I'm kind of disappointed. I expected you to notice this. All right, so according to federal health officials, sexually transmitted diseases in the U.S. have reached a record high. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that there's been a sharp increase in STDs for the fourth year in a row. A new report tallied nearly 2.3 million cases of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis in 2017, which is an increase of 200,000 cases from 2016. The CDC announced the new data during a press conference in Washington this week. The U.S. continues to have the highest STD rates in the industrialized world, said David Harvey, Executive Director of the National Coalition of STD Directors. He added that it is time that President Trump and Secretary Azar declare STDs in America a public health crisis.
It should be a public health crisis.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I think the U.S. has a very big campaign going on with the STDs and AIDS, and everywhere you go, you see condoms around. So I don't understand why this is.
Well, there are a couple of reasons that have been given. Yes. Funding has dropped.
Okay.
For the past few years.
How could funding drop for the use of condom? Because it's also about personal choice.
Health, for use of prevention, preventing STDs, funding has dropped. And because of that, people don't feel obliged to, go to these centers. There's also the mother-child transfer when it comes to syphilis and all of that. That has also increased the number. So a number of factors across board that is causing this as it is right now. For condoms, they say there's been a drop in the use of condoms, unfortunately.
Yeah, which is why, public enlightenment may be necessary. And for persons in the third world who say that, condom reduces their pleasure, this kind of story should resonate, and people should know that if you don't prevent, this kind of possibility, at the end of the day, it's about your health. It's about your survival. And if the cost of treatment is high, then, you are putting yourself at risk.
Okay, so still in the U.S., California bans...
Let me touch on that for a bit. They say now the reason the use of condoms have dropped is because, HIV/AIDS has been under control. There's a treatment for it. So people don't see the need to continue using condoms. So hopefully with this data out there, things will change.
Okay.
All right, so California has become the first state to officially eliminate cash bail. Under a new law signed by Governor Jerry Brown, the suspects awaiting trial will be able to leave jail without having to post bail. The new system, which will go into effect on the 1st of October 2019, will leave pre-trial release decisions up to local judges. This comes after many complaints that the law unfairly incarcerates poor people who are often kept in jail because they can't afford to pay their bills. Today, California reforms its bail system so that rich and poor alike are treated fairly, Brown said in a statement.
Some good news.
Good development. In the administration of justice system, the thing is to do enough to defend the rights of the individual and to make the justice system friendlier.
And they say this fight has been on for 40 years. So it's been a fight that's been long coming. And finally, I guess that they'll be happy. So we'll see things being put in place before 2019 when the law will take effect. A former Texas police officer was sentenced to 15 years in prison on Wednesday for the death shooting of an unarmed black teen last year in the Dallas suburbs. A jury convicted former Balch Springs officer Roy Oliver, 38, of murder on Tuesday for killing 15-year-old Jordan Edwards. Jurors returned to court Wednesday for his sentencing, where prosecutors sought at least 60 years, while the defense argued for 20 years or less. Dallas County District Attorney Faith Johnson called Oliver a killer in blue who violated his oath to protect citizens. The jury found Oliver guilty of murder on Tuesday. It was the first murder conviction of a police officer in Dallas County since 1973. Oliver testified that he shot at the car because he feared his partner, Officer Tyler Gross, was in danger. Body camera footage showed the car was moving away from the officers, and Gross testified that he wasn't in fear for his safety. That's a very sad one.
Police shooting in America has been...
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. And convictions have been very low, so that's why this case is getting a lot of publicity. Sometimes cases don't even make it to court. So I guess for this, when you say Black Lives Matter, this fuels that movement, you know, and that belief. So, you know, we're happy. I mean, the mother expected more time to be given to the police officer, but, you know, she accepts what the court says. So.
Yeah. So Aretha Franklin is being laid to rest.
Aretha Franklin laid in repose in a different outfit for the final public open casket viewing before her funeral. On Wednesday, the late Queen of Soul was dressed in a powder blue dress and matching shoes in a bronze casket, a change from the red suit and crimson pumps she wore in a gold-plated casket on Tuesday. Earlier, and People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals sent a letter to Aretha Franklin's niece, Sabrina Garrett Owens, who has been appointed as the personal representative of the late singer's estate, requesting that this estate donate her vast fur-coat collection to Peter's Fur Donation Program, which sends furs to people in need in refugee camps and at homeless shelters, as well as to wildlife rehabilitation facilities. I remember she received a knock for using fur back then. Now,
well, I mean, but back from here, I mean, Aretha Franklin has not even yet been buried.
Yes.
And that animal rights group is already scampering for a share of our estate. I mean, the least they could have done should have been to send a condolence message, allow the burial to go on, allow the family to at least mourn properly and sort out their affairs before they will make this kind of request. That's the only thing that I see that is wrong there. And I doubt if Aretha Franklin in her lifetime will have willingly donated those expensive trademark furs, you know, to PETA.
Well, because the truth is, she came under knocks by Peter for wearing those furs.
Where everyone wearing furs, you know, got knocked by animal rights groups.
Exactly. So you can imagine now in death, not even mourning her, but wanting the furs
they already wanted.
That's completely wrong.
Oh,
wow. All right.
Well, Victoria, thank you very much. Always a pleasure to have you telling us what's trending.
That's sweet, Mr. Batty.
Well, that brings us to the end of the morning show today. Thank you for watching. From my entire team here in Lagos, enjoy the rest of your morning and, of course, the rest of your day. Goodbye.
Goodbye.